What is up, guys? My name is Joaquin Corrales, and welcome to my new YouTube channel where I show you guys a bunch of stuff that I feel like showing you. And in this video, we're gonna go over how I, at 18 years old, was able to get a entry-level job making $12 an hour to, in 2 years, getting promoted various times throughout and going up to $80,000 a year, and then leaving to create my own business and to just do my own stuff. So how it all started was that I graduated from high school and I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do, okay? I knew that I wanted to make money, but I wasn't entirely sure how I was going to do it. And the reason why I knew that I wanted to make a shit ton of money was because I was obsessed with cars, okay? I was obsessed with cars, and I knew that if I wanted to have these nice cars, then I was going to need to have a lot of money, okay? The first time that I ever saw it, it was a Ferrari 458 as I was getting on the highway with Nick, one of my friends, Nick, in his Honda Civic. Getting up on the highway, saw this car, and I was like, damn, what do I need to do to get that car? Did some research. Turns out I need a lot of money, so I was obsessed with getting money. And what happened this one day was that one of my best friends, Christian, he knew that I wanted to get into computers and stuff, kind of, and he was like, hey, bro, I have this cousin. She's into app development. She's the CIO of a company. She's an important person, technology, the whole thing. And I was like, dude, put me in touch with her, okay? Let her mentor me, okay? That was the thing in the books that I was reading. I was already reading a lot of personal development books and kind of business books. And the common theme was that you needed to have a mentor, okay? People that were successful had a lot of mentors that helped them bridge the gap between where they were and where they wanted to be and allowed them to get there faster. So I needed to have a mentor, okay? And so I asked him. He put me in touch with her, and this lady was awesome. I would for the next 4 years be working with her. Obviously didn't know that at the time. You can't tell the future. So whatever, I would meet with this woman at Starbucks. We would meet at Starbucks and just go over a whole bunch of information. Like, she would teach me a whole bunch of different things, and half of them I didn't know what they were. Eventually I would, but it was just an overwhelming amount of information. It was really hard for me to process all of it. So I would just sit there and nod. Like, she would just say things, and I would just nod. Yeah, awesome. And eventually she had some work for me, okay? And it was small, meaningless stuff, okay? It wasn't stuff that was super important. It wasn't stuff that paid super well. But I knew that I needed to do this as best as possible. I needed to do these tasks, editing small pictures and doing some small things for our mobile apps that she was working with as fast as possible and as good as possible, because I needed her to see that I was serious, and that even if things weren't super important, even if the work wasn't super important, that I was fully dedicated on it, because I knew that that was going to help me a lot in the future, and it did, okay? About a couple months later, it was time for her to get a job as the CIO of another company, right? So the head of technology at another company, a food distributing company that was doing somewhere around $700 million a year. They were having trouble growing. They needed a lot more people, and they needed new management. So she was going to go into that. And then she asked me, she was like, hey, do you want to come on board? And I was like, yeah. I mean, I was getting paid minimum wage in like Hollister or something, a place that had nothing to do with technology. So being able to be around her and be around the people that she was going to be around was going to be 100% beneficial. It was like a no-brainer to me that I wanted to do this. And I remember like it was yesterday, we were on the phone just talking over the details. And she was like, hey, bring a friend. And I was like, oh, okay, awesome. So we hang up, and I have on my phone notes full of information. I still have that note. It's pretty cool. And so I call my friend up, and I'm like, dude, we got this opportunity at this place. We're going to learn about technology. It's going to be awesome. A new company, 700 million, like the whole thing. And I even think we're going to get paid. I told him that I think we're going to get paid at this place. And as I say that, she calls me back. So I hang up, I pick up the phone with her again. She's like, oh, and you're going to get paid $12 an hour. Is that fine? And I was like, oh shit. Like, I was trying really hard to hold in the excitement because I was just getting paid minimum wage to that point. And I was like, yeah. I mean, $12 is fine. But when I hung up, I was like, holy shit, $12 an hour. I'm getting paid 7. We're going to 12. We're almost rich. Called my friend back up, and I was like, dude, we're going to get paid this much. Technology, we're in. You have to come on board. So he came on board. We started working at this place. And what I remember about working at this place when I first started, which was 3 years ago, okay, not a very long time ago. What I remember when I first started working at this place was that I would absolutely give it my all every single day. Like, even if we were doing meaningless things like repurposing PCs, like adding memory to a PC or helping someone out because they had issues with their computer, I would do it at my absolute best. Okay, like no matter what, like I would always give it all, and I would act like if I owned the company. And that's ultimately what allowed the people around me to put me in a position where I was able to grow so much faster, because they saw the level of dedication that I had even for the smallest things. And when you have a lot of dedication for the small things, when they give you a big thing, more dedication. Yes, that's the trend. So what happened was that I was doing that for a while, getting paid $12 an hour. Then I was moved to $15 an hour. And then someone came into the company called Nelson. And Nelson was a business intelligence developer. And what that is, other than a cool job title, it's a very important role in a company. Every company needs business intelligence developers. And what these people do is that they take the data that a company creates and they put it into reports that basically allow the company to run. I mean, we were creating sales reports, inventory reports, purchasing reports. Like out of the sales reports that we were creating, the managers and the owners were basing commissions for everyone. So everyone in the company was getting paid based on how accurate our reports were. So, I mean, just because of that, you could kind of imagine how important that role is. And what I did was, when this guy came into this company, I didn't have a ton of experience on programming. I was already trying to learn by myself outside, but I just clinched onto him and I started learning everything as much as possible. And he started teaching me a whole bunch of different stuff. And I remember how fast I was learning. And the reason why I was learning so fast was because the learning wouldn't stop from 9 to 5. Like it wouldn't stop after 5 is what I mean. I would be learning from 9 to 5 nonstop, a combination of working and learning. And after 5, I would continue to learn on my own, because I wanted to know so much that the next day I could be like, Nelson, let me do this, because I know how to do it now. And I was able to do that because of how much energy I was able to put into it, and how dedicated I was to doing it. And people around me saw that. Nelson saw that. The managers saw that. And they put me in better positions because of that. And not only in better positions, because I also asked for better positions. So you guys have to make sure that you're confident enough to be able to ask for the raises and be asked to be moved up. Because a lot of the time, a lot of people probably listen to this. Maybe you work at a job where if you stay quiet, then the people on top of you they're happy that you stay quiet. Like if you're not asking for anything, they're good. Maybe that's not the best job to be at. Okay, you got to be in a job that has some opportunity for growth, or maybe if you're not in a job that has opportunity for growth, that could eventually have opportunity for growth, right? Like me working at Hollister, what's the max that I could have gone there or been there? Like freaking been a cashier or something. Like a lot of people have to think about that. And sometimes you make a sacrifice of money to be able to go in that position, right? So sometimes you're making more money where you're currently at, but the opportunity for growth there isn't high. So you need to be willing to take a pay cut to go into a position that maybe you're going to start getting paid less, but the opportunity for growth there is so much higher, right? So just some things to kind of think about. So I started there learning a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm going to skip it like about a year here. So a year later, I was throughout that whole time, I was always trying to start up my own businesses. I was failing stuff, clothing companies, software companies, mobile apps, the whole thing. I mean, I could go on all day about every failed business that I ever created. This one is doing pretty good. We'll talk about it in another video. And so about a year later, I was getting ready to leave. Okay, so the type of relationship that we had there with the managers was super good, where I would be like, hey, like they knew that I was hustling so much after work to get out of there as fast as possible, not because I hated them and because I wasn't making enough money, because I was making $80K a year at like 20, 21 without a degree. Like I was making a good amount of money, but I didn't care about that. It was about owning my own thing and about having an unlimited opportunity for growth. For me, it was still, and it still kind of is, about getting these fast cars. I want all of this. It pushes me to work so much harder. But in a job like that, you only make as much money as someone else thinks you're worth, right? I was only going to make $80,000 at that point because they thought the work that I did was worth $80,000. But when you own the place, when you own the business and the company, you make as much money as you're good enough to make. As the more people that you're able to help in this company that we created, this software company that I'm running right now that we created, the more people that we're able to help, the more money we're gonna make, right? And no one can put a limit on that. There's no manager on top of me saying, hey, you can only make $20,000 this month. No, like I'll make $50,000 this month, $100K this month, as much as what's in here is gonna allow me. And it's a constant state of learning and stuff. So yeah, but anyways, so I said I was leaving, but before I said I was leaving, maybe like 2 months before leaving, I did something that was pretty cool. I was getting paid $20 an hour. I hadn't gotten a raise in a while, and I was driving home one day, and when I come up with an idea, like it's gonna get executed like pretty fast. And I was on my way home, and I was like, I'm gonna ask for a raise, and I'm getting paid $20 an hour. That's about $40K a year or something. I'm gonna ask for a raise to $62,000 a year because I'm doing some awesome work and I'm putting so much time into this company, and I'm treating it like if I own the business. And they know that. They know how much work I'm putting into it, how much sweat I'm putting into it. That's all people are looking for. That's all managers and owners are looking for. Someone who's going to put in a ton of dedication. So if you have that, you can get a job anywhere. Just show them that. Be willing to work for free at some places just because you know the opportunity there is so much higher than when you're currently at. Like, be able to take the pay cut. Put yourself in a position where you're able to do that. That's some advice there. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go into the office. I'm going to ask for a raise for $62,000. She's going to cut down to $60,000, and then it's going to be awesome. So 2 days later, because I didn't work the day after, went in the office, did it, and I came out not too bad. I came out and she was like, hey, I can't do the 62K, but I could do 55K. And, I could do 55K and I could pay for your whole school. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, I kind of don't care about school at this point. But yeah, awesome. Okay, fine, we'll do it. So we did that. And then two months later, I'm almost about to leave, right? Like, I'm making that nice amount of money, but I'd rather do my own thing, even if I start getting paid a little bit less initially. And then Nelson leaves, the guy from halfway through this video that I spoke about, that taught me everything that I would work day in and day out with. It's his turn to leave. Like, not his turn, but he's gonna leave to another company. And so what they do when he's leaving, because me and him work together every single hour of the day, is they need to try and cling on to me. They need to try and cling on to me, because if we both leave, the company's really going to feel it. They're really going to feel both of us leaving, because we're the only two that really do this type of stuff. So we're like, hey, we're going to raise you up to $80,000 a year. Just stay with us for a while longer. Don't leave yet. And it turned out that I stayed for a lot longer. Like maybe 4 or 5 months after. And then eventually, like, I just walked into the office after that, like after the 5 months, and they knew that eventually I was out. I walked into the office and I was like, Ingrid, it's time. Like, I just said that. And then she was like, oh, it's time. Like, she knew yeah, it's time for me to write out. Like, I need to go now. Been paying a great amount of money, but I need to go do my own thing. It's going decently, and I need to dedicate my full time to that. So that's kind of the story behind that. I mean, and it all comes down to work ethic. Like, I feel like that's going to be just the 2 words that describe my entire life. And 10 years from now, I'm going to come back and watch this video, and it'll be like, yes, like, you already knew that it was going to be work ethic, and I'm glad that you were able to do that. So, hey, future self watching this video, I got it. It's work ethic. I'm going for it. I'm kind of talking to my future self there. So, guys, work ethic. Be able to take a pay cut from where you're currently at if there's no room for growth to a place that there is room for growth. And stop with the excuses of there isn't any job for you out there. It's hard to find a job. It's not hard to find a job. You just actually have to try. And actually trying is hard. And if you're having a hard time finding one, maybe you're lazy. Maybe you don't have enough skills yet and you need to build up these skills. But I know that, I mean, it's not hard. Just freaking put some work into it. Work ethic, okay? The 2 words, work ethic. So guys, in the next couple of videos, I'm going to talk about my current business, what we're doing, how we're doing. We're doing pretty good. I own a software company, mobile development. We make mobile apps as well. That's another one. That's awesome. So guys, subscribe, okay? That's what you do on YouTube. You subscribe, you leave some likes at the bottom. You leave likes, and you also leave comments if you want. I'll reply to them. If you comment, I'll reply. So that's how I was able to go from an entry-level position at 18 years old to 21 years old, making $80,000 a year, and then leaving 4 to 5 months later because it made financial sense and the other type of sense to leave and start doing my own thing. And it's growing pretty fast. It's going awesome. It's the most stressful thing I've ever done, but it's going great and I love it. Bye, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Goodbye.